Hey, it's Nathan with OptionsForRL.com. In this video, I want to go over my options trading results for the week ending 16 January 2026. We're going to go over the positions that I closed, the positions I opened, and then we'll take a look at the week ahead or the next couple weeks ahead and see if I need to take any actions. Finally, I'll have AI take a look at my portfolio and give me any sort of recommendations that it has. Now, I'm going to be using the Options4L option tracking dashboard to go through my portfolio. However, this is a real portfolio. This is my Robinhood account. You can see my account value, the option positions that I have open. So I just want to point out that these are real trades that are happening. I'm not like making anything up, and I just wanted to point that out real quick. Also, we added a new feature where I'm able to share my portfolio publicly. So you can go ahead and actually go to the link in the description down below and check out my portfolio. You can click around, you can see all my trades, click into my positions, and so on. You don't have to log in or anything like that. You can see my open positions, closed positions, transactions, analysis, and so on. So you can get an inside scoop of what's going on in my portfolio. Again, link in the description down below. But let's go ahead and get into the analysis of my trading results this past week. All right, so here we are on the dashboard. Let me go to the last 7 days and we'll take a look at my account. All right, so we can see my total P&L live is negative $2,008.04. My total P&L realized is negative $2,164.67. So a down week this week, but I'm not upset about it. There's some reasons why. I'll explain it right now, actually. So let me go ahead and actually clear back out of this. All right, so this is my current total P&L live. So this is using live pricing, and this is where my P&L is sitting $15,435. So last week when I recorded this video, my P&L was $9,038.53. So I've had about, $6,500 gain in my P&L, and that's because a lot of my underlying assets and positions really performed well this week because I have a lot of cash secured puts against IBIT and MSTR, whereas my covered calls suffered a little bit, as you'll see in just a minute. But that's where I feel pretty good about the results, even though I'm like down on paper this week. Overall, my account had a pretty solid week. So anyway, let's go ahead and look at, what I closed out this week and what I opened. All right, so lost $2,100. I have 3 open positions. My win rate was 0 wins with 2 losses. There's my cash balance. You can see that I took my losses on Friday. That's when I rolled my positions, and we can see I covered calls in Iron Condor, and here we are getting into the positions that I closed this week and the positions I opened. Now, the positions that I closed this week go hand in hand with the positions I opened because I opened my covered call positions on Monday, and then come Friday, I rolled them. So I'm going to kind of combine my closed and opened in the same section here. All right, so first things first, let's look at my IBIT position. So I'm going to go ahead where I opened it on Monday. I opened it right here. So this is my position that I opened. Now, I opened it on Monday, I closed it or rolled it on Friday. My opening credit was $569.18. You can see that I had a sell to open call, so my covered call, a $53 strike price, expiration on Friday. I did 19 contracts at 30 cents, and that's how I got my $569 credit. Now I rolled it. We can see my roll chain history right here. So I rolled it on Friday. I rolled it out to February 6th, so I think that's 3 weeks. From January 16th to February 6th is 3 weeks. I also rolled it up from $53 strike price to a $55 strike price, so I have a little bit more room right there. And we can see that currently my chain total is down in my P&L. However, if IBIT stays under $55 come February 6th, I'll be able to turn that entire roll chain around, and I'll be able to recoup my funds because I did roll for a credit. Let me get out of the live pricing real quick so we can kind of look at like the actual credit that hit. So let me open this back up. So currently my roll chain is $1,308.60. So those are the actual credits that I brought in. Now it's showing negative in the other view where I have the live prices loaded in because my current position is currently underwater and kind of bringing down my whole roll chain. But honestly, I'm not too worried about it. I mean, I hope IBIT goes up. Like, I have a large position in IBIT and I want it to go up. So I'm not mad if it keeps going up like that. I also opened up a covered call position on MSTR. This is a poor man's covered call. You can see that I opened it on Monday here. So same concept as the IBIT covered calls. I opened it on Monday, credit of $173.95, and then I wound up rolling it on Friday because MSTR had a good week and I had to roll it out and up. So let's look at that position. So I had it open, strike price of $168. I rolled it out and up about 2 weeks to January 30th with a strike of $180, and we can see that my chain total P&L is $253.86. So those are the credits that I've actually received. I haven't realized them all yet because I still have this open position right here. So if I load in the live prices again, we can see that I am probably currently underwater in this position. And yeah, so my live chain total P&L is negative $368.64. So we'll see where MSTR winds up on January 30th. If it's less than 180, then I will realize my actual roll chain total, which was like that $200 and some dollars. But time will tell, so we'll keep an eye on that. And so here's the IBIT position that I opened up on Friday with the roll. We can take a look right here. You can pause the screen if you want to, but I received a credit of $3,096.18. I received that large of a credit because I had to pay down the debit on the other trade that I was rolling out of. This current position, I'm currently up $103.68. My return is 3.3%, but I got a ways to go in order to recoup all the funds that I had to spend when I rolled my position. Here's my position, $55 strike price, 19 contracts at $1.63, and right now the delta is sitting at 0.46. So using some rough estimation, there's basically a 46% chance that this winds up in the money. Obviously, being a short position, I want it to wind up out of the money so it expires worthless, but time will tell. I still got 19 days until expiration, so we got some time. The same concept with the MSTR position. I received a credit of $630.95. Of course, I had to pay down the debit on the trade that I was rolling out of. My current return is $8.45 or 1.3%. My delta here is 0.42, so 42% chance of winding up in the money, or a 58% chance that it winds up out of the money, which is what I would like. So time will tell. We'll keep an eye on it. Finally, every week I've been opening up an Iron Condor trade on SPY. I've been doing it with the DTE of 40 to 45 days, and the deltas on the short side have been 0.2 and a $5 width on the strikes. And my goal here is to make $400 to $500 every week. So I've been opening up these Iron Condors weekly, trying to get that $400 to $500 credit. So that's what I did right here. As I opened this position, I received a credit of $467.50. I'm currently up $44.50, so far so good. 9.5%, in a week, not too bad. You can see my positions right here. My short call, $720 strike price, expiration February 27th. My short put, $665 strike price, same expiration February 27th. So there's my Iron Condor, and we'll look at a couple more SPY Iron Condors coming up here that I need to keep an eye on in the next week or two. So those are the positions that I opened. Feel free to pause my screen and you can take a look if you want more details. So let's go over to the open positions real quick and see what I need to keep an eye out for this week ahead. All right, so I have a SPY Iron Condor expiring this Friday coming up. Currently, my total return is $400.22, so it's pretty profitable. Let me open this up and we can take a closer look. So my net P&L, so this is the credit that I received initially, was $560.72. Currently, I've received a return of 71.4%, which is that $422. So I'm right there in the sweet spot. I want to be between $400 to $500 every week. So I'm basically there. So maybe Monday we'll see how SPY is looking, and I might close out of this position early and actually realize my $400 gain in this position. So that's what I'm going to be taking a look at first thing on Monday, is if I should get out of this position, or maybe SPY takes a little drop first thing and maybe I will leave this position open. We can see that my short call is $700. So SPY is currently sitting at $691.66. So it's been getting close to that $700 mark. So I've been watching it closely, but it goes up and it drops back down. So right now I have about $8.50 of wiggle room. So we'll see how SPY opens. I'm going to go ahead and chart this also. So I'm going to click this little chart button right here. And this is our AI chart analysis tool. And how it works is you pick a date that you want the prediction for. So in this case, I'm doing 23rd of January. and your stock ticker symbol, so SPY. You click generate, it makes a chart with all the relevant indicators, like it has your EMAs and Bollinger Bands and RSI and MACD and so on. So it's got all these details right here. And then you click on Analyze Chart, and AI goes and it analyzes the chart and gives you a prediction of where it thinks the stock will be on your target date right here. Now this is a free tool. You don't have to log in or anything like that. It's at chart.optionsforl.com. You can go check it out. Link in the description down below. But it's going to analyze the chart and give us what it thinks will happen in the next 6 days. Alrighty, so the analysis has run. We are bearish in the next 6 days. We have a drop of 0.34%, which is like $2. So not a very big drop, but that is like perfect for my iron condor that I'm looking at. There's the range that it expects. It gives us all the technical indicators on why it thinks what it thinks, its divergences and trends, its chart patterns, potential scenarios, and overall bias, and so on. So it gives you all the details on how it came up with this particular projection. So if I come over here, that would be like exactly perfect for my iron condor right here. It'd be right in the range, and then it could expire worthless, and I get to keep all $560.72. So I got, $160.50 still to close in that gap right there. So we'll see how things are going Monday. Maybe I can go ahead and let it ride a little bit longer and squeeze a little bit more profit out of this particular position. But I'm also right at my goal of $400 to $500, so maybe I shouldn't be greedy. We'll see what happens on Monday. And that's the only position I have expiring next week. The next position I have is that MSTR covered call that we looked at already. It's expiring the week after. I have another SPY Iron Condor expiring that same week. I'm going to go ahead and run the AI chart analysis tool on this position as well. So let's go ahead and pop this up. And if we generated our chart, I'll go ahead and analyze the chart and see where we think MSTR will be in the next 13 days. We'll see if it'll be below my covered call strike price. Alrighty, the analysis is finished running. It's saying that the projected price is $178.25, a 2.62% increase. There's the projected range. So my position is a covered call, $180 strike price. So this price right here would be perfect for me. This one would be too high, and I would probably have to roll out and up again. So time will tell, but so far things are looking pretty good. And maybe this position will expire worthless, and I'll get to keep my entire credit right there. So time will tell. We got time to let things play out. So there's that position. I have the other SPY Iron Condor. It's currently at about 42.5% return, $205 total return. So again, I'm trying to get that up to $400 to $500. We can see that my short call strike price is $705, so I got about $14 of wiggle room right there. My short put side is $657 strike price, so I got wiggle room right there as well. So I'm gonna let that ride for a little bit longer. Let's keep going. There's my IBIT position that I just rolled, that covered call position. So I'm not doing anything with that next week. We'll let it play out a little bit more. You can see my other SPY Iron Condor. All right, so this is a position, cash secured put. I got an expiration 20 February right here. You can see that it has been rolled a couple times. I'm currently negative $2,532.67. This is much smaller than it has been previously. It was up to like negative $6,000 in previous videos. That's because my short put side is $59. And the current price of IBIT is $54. So I'm off like nearly $5 in the money, which is not good for my cash secured put position. So I'm, this is where I'm hopeful that IBIT and Bitcoin bounce and bounce hard. And I'm not mad when my covered call, I have to roll that out and up, because I have these cash secured puts where I am wanting the price of IBIT to go up. And that's why my portfolio value went up this week, even though I realized some losses. So anyway, I'm keeping an eye on this position. In particular, I'm watching the extrinsic value. So right now, the extrinsic value is at 79 cents. If it gets to 20 cents or less, I'm going to go ahead and take some action on this particular position. I have an alert set already. So you can see I have an alert set for the extrinsic value less than 20 cents. Then I'm going to go ahead and take some action. I'll probably roll it out and down, or possibly just roll it out. I'm going to try and turn this into a winning position. You can see another SPY Iron Condor, some more cash secured puts, but expirations are way out there, so I'm not not really looking at those right now. And then finally I get into my leaps positions. I've got 3 long calls or leaps on IBIT. So 1, 2, 3. And then I have a long call on MSTR. So that's what I've been selling my covered calls or poor man covered calls against my MSTR long call or leaps position right here. And you can see that it had a pretty good week. We're up almost $1,400 on this particular position. And my percent return is about 16.3%. I opened it back on January 2nd, so it's been about 14 days. And I'm hoping that I bought the bottom here and it continues to run up. So there's that particular leaps position. So those are my open positions and what I'll be kind of paying attention to next week. Now also next week, I intend to open up another SPY Iron Condor, again about 40 to 45 days out with the deltas of 0.2 with the goal of a credit of $400 to $500. Also, I'll be selling some more covered calls against my IBIT position. I can have about 38 covered calls against IBIT. Right now I only have 19 covered calls against IBIT, so I'm going to increase that position a little bit this week coming up. And so for the last step, I want AI to actually take a look at my portfolio and give me anything I should be paying attention to. So I'm going to come over to analysis and I'm going to switch it to AI open positions. And I'm going to go ahead and click on regenerate report. So what this is doing is it's analyzing my 15 open positions with my live pricing data, my Greeks exposure and historical performance, and it's giving me a full report of all of my open positions and what I should pay attention to, why I should pay attention to it, and so on. So I like using it as like a second set of eyes. So I just went through my portfolio and what I'm kind of paying attention to, this week coming up. Now I'm going to have AI take a look at it and maybe it'll find things that, I'm missing or should consider and things like that. So it's just a second set of eyes. Of course, I'm responsible for my own actions and everything, but it's nice to, I can check my work basically against AI. And so we'll see what it says about my current open positions. Alrighty, the analysis is finished running, so let's take a quick look at what it says. I'm not going to go through everything because we'd be here for another 20 minutes and we probably don't want to do that. Alright, so first things first, my immediate action items. My critical is my SPY Iron Condor that expires in 5 days. I'm $400 in profit. Its recommendation is to close now and lock in my $400 profit. Like I said, I might do that. We'll see how Monday plays out. Using the tool here, it looks like, I could have a good week for my Iron Condor. So we'll see what happens. It's also saying I need to look at my next Iron Condor that's up for expiration next week. It says that I should close or prepare to close. I'm $205 in profit. And again, my goal is $400 to $500. So I'm going to let this play out. I still got some time. The next thing is my MSTR covered call at the $180 strike price. Its recommendation is to not roll it again, let it expire or close. And yes, I mostly agree with this. I would like to let it expire. If I can let it expire worthless and keep my credit, then awesome. But I'm probably not going to close out of that particular position. But anyway, here's all its rationale, and it has, some good valid points. And then it also tells me what to watch. So if MSTR rallies above $177, close immediately to preserve the $8 profit. So I guess $8 is better than negative. Alright, so some things to watch. Critical price level, so SPY at 700, IBIT at 59, MSTR at 180. Yep, upcoming expirations, there they all are. Events to monitor, position by position recommendations. So there's the MSTR covered calls, and it says not to roll again. My IBIT covered calls, it's saying do not roll. So basically AI does not like rolling, which, is fine. SPY Iron Condor is what to watch or hold on to. So close now, close Wednesday, Thursday, hold. Okay, I agree with that. My MSTR long call, it's saying that I need a hold. This is a winner. Heck yeah, finally. AI is appreciative or happy with what I'm doing. All right, my IBIT cash secured puts and its various recommendations, like it wants me to exit this roll chain, close and exit, close now. So it does not like what I'm doing with IBIT, but I think it's wrong. All right, my SPY covered call, and it wants me to close this position as well, but I'm not going to. So, of course, you use AI to your own, interpretation and so on. A portfolio risk summary goes through all the different details, my delta, theta, vega, gamma, so all the Greeks, concentration risk, my win rate analysis, my theta decay analysis. It goes through all this stuff. Again, I'm not going through everything because we don't need to. As I think you get the idea, and I'll go through it more, off camera. But the point is, it's good to have that second set of eyes, and I agree with some of the things it's saying. I don't agree with some of the other things it's saying, and so on. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. Again, if you want to check out my portfolio, link in the description down below. You can take a look at, everything. You can click into it and see my various positions and everything like that. Now, this does not have the live pricing or the Greeks in it. That's a premium feature or a pro feature that's paid. But you can see, all my positions and when I've rolled and things like that. So link in the description to check it out, or you can check out the tool. It's available at tool.optionsforl.com or just optionsforl.com, or link in the description down below. But that's it. Hopefully you found this video interesting, and I hope you have a great day.